In this lesson, we'll establish twist bones for our upper arm and forearm so that as those areas start to rotate, we can keep the volume. Now, if you wanted to, you could always envelope the character to the skeleton that we've already built. But the purpose of these twist bones is to bring the volume back in the upper arm and in the wrist as they twist. For example, if this arm was to be lifted up and then twist forward, that elbow was pointing forward, this area here where the arm connects to the shoulder would collapse. So the twist bones are going to help us to bring that volume right back. Same thing goes for the wrist. As we rotate the wrist control, that wrist is going to eventually collapse. So the twist bones will help us to fix that problem. And then we'll set up secondary controls so as we run into those issues, we'll just use the controls to bring the volume right back. So to get started here, I'm going to go ahead and pick on the left arm. We'll want to clone this with Control V. Once it's copied, I'll go ahead and freeze it to clean that up. Notice how it pops all the way up there. That's fine. We'll just use Alt A to bring it right back. Where did it think it was going? From there, we can head over to our listener window, use the code that we use to increase the bone size, just so it's a little bit easier to work with. What we want to do from here is go ahead and color code this. I'll use red, and we can use that same color for both sides, so we know that these are our twist envelope objects. From here, we'll go in and just scale this down. And we'll want it scaled to about 2/3 of the upper arm. The reason why is, as we set this up, we want a gradual twist where by the end of this, we don't want any twisting at all. We want that weighted to the arm bone. But for the first 2/3 of this, we're going to want that all weighted to these twist bones. Okay, so once we have them in the position we like them to be in, we can head over to the bone tools and use Refine to split these up. So go ahead and create 2 more here. Alright, so our next step is going to be to go ahead and take this root, Control page down to grab the others, and let's go ahead and clone this. Then selecting the root, we'll go ahead and bring that down to the forearm. Okay, and we'll worry about aligning that later. What I'd like to do from here is actually take the last 2 objects, or all 3 for that matter, head over to the bone tools, and go ahead and turn off bone mode. That's so we won't run into any pulling as we start to move these around. And that'll also help us to avoid any cyclic errors. I'd also like to take these last 2 and unlink them from the first bone, and that's going to make it easier for us to set up our twisting. We want to get into the habit of looking for the simplest methods we can of creating our rigs. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't aim for creating complex rigs. That just means that you should look for the easiest approach, and that's mainly for time constraints and also to make sure that nothing breaks on your rig. But sometimes that can't be avoided. Okay, of course not the breaking of the rig, but looking for complex issues or adding complexity to your rigs. Okay, from here, let's say we go ahead and rename these. So the first one here, that's going to be BNL arm twist A01. Go ahead and copy that. And this is going to be B. And then C. Alrighty. So from here, it's just a matter of taking all of these and linking them back to the arm bone. And now, we'll freeze their transforms. Okay, so from here we can go ahead and take care of the forearm. So we'll select the root, and we'll align that to the forearm. Now here we're going to want this chain 2/3 down the arm. So we're going to want more twisting at the wrist, and then gradually no twisting as we get closer to the elbow. So we could take this chain and just bring that down, and then start to fix the position here. So I'll head over to our bone tools. Okay, we'll want this to be in bone mode for now so we can use bone edit mode to reshape this. So I'll bring this root up. Let's see, I'll make sure that they're all linked. Okay, this should work, but if anything, you could always just go ahead and just bring this back and scale it out. Firstly, I just want to check and make sure, yep, they are linked. Well, that's no problem at all. Again, we'll just head over to bone edit mode and bring that back, kind of scale that out, and do the same for the last. Okay, now from here, we can go ahead and select all of these and turn off bone mode. We'll select the last two and unlink them. And then selecting all of these, we'll go ahead and link that back to the forearm bone. Let's say we rename them from here. So that's going to be BNL forearm twist underscore A01. Copy that, go to the next, paste. That's going to be B. Paste that, and that's going to be C. Okay, great. So we have these renamed, we have them in place. I'll go ahead and stop the lesson here, and we'll continue this process of setting up our twist bones in the next.